Please do be seated. As Secretary and Clerk, it gives me the greatest pleasure to welcome you to this afternoon's graduation ceremony. Graduation ceremonies follow a tradition that began in the 15th century, and that tradition has evolved since. Graduation means taking a step. And graduation symbolizes the move of the former student, now called a graduand, into a new role in wider society as a graduate, there to use the talents developed as a member of this academic society. Each graduand will cross the stage and shake hands with the Vice-Chancellor to symbolize their transition to this new role, and we will applaud them for their success so far and in anticipation of their contribution to society in future. At the end of the ceremony, the Vice-Chancellor will formally admit all those who have crossed the stage, symbolizing that each and every graduate is now incorporated into the community of scholars. As new members of this community, as the academic procession leaves the stage, the new graduates will join the procession, and that will conclude the proceedings. During the ceremony, those graduating with higher degrees will have their hood placed on them by the Vice-Chancellor to mark that they have attained the very highest levels of academic achievement. It is now time to begin our formal proceedings, and so I hereby declare the ceremony to be in session. And I call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Michael Thorne, to address you. Vice-Chancellor.
Honorary graduand, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome you all here today to join in this special day, a day in which we celebrate your achievements, the class of 2015. For most of us, graduation is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so we do hope you'll enjoy it. But perhaps those here today whom it will most please are those who have supported you during your studies. Parents, partners, children and friends. To all of you we say, we couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much for your part in our success. You may have heard the news that we were declared UK Entrepreneurial University of the Year by the Times Higher Education magazine. The citation for the award listed a particular set of our achievements: the delivery of our degree-level programmes in the workplace for such international brands as Timberland, Specsavers, UPS, Harrods, Volvo, Wilmot Dixon, Barclays Bank, the Army, Navy and Air Force, the Port of Tilbury and Tamdown Triconics. The steps we take to enable our own students to graduate and start their own businesses, and hundreds do. And the fact that through our subsidiary, Ixion Holdings, we have helped more than 9,000 long-term unemployed people start their own businesses, more than 66% of which have passed the all-important 6-month survival test. The help we've given governments who wish to improve their rates of new business creation in Romania, South Africa and Uruguay. The success of our postgraduate medical institute, set up as a partnership with all the hospitals in Essex, among others. Not only its success in research, we're running £5 million worth of clinical trials, but also because it now offers 5 master's degrees in surgery. And it recognised the establishment of our science park, what we call the MedTech Campus, which is 120 acres of land located in Chelmsford, Harlow and Southend-on-Sea, and which should lead to the creation of 12,500 jobs for Essex. The news of the award of Entrepreneurial University of the Year, and I do like saying that, came hot on the heels of the latest official statistics, which showed that within 6 months of leaving us, an Anglia Ruskin graduate has a 9 out of 10 chance of getting a job, a better chance than most other graduates of securing a permanent job, and is likely to beat the average UK graduate salary. Not to mention the outcome of the 2015 National Student Survey, in which our students expressed record levels of satisfaction with their courses and placed us in the top 20% of UK universities, both for lecturers who are good at explaining things and who make their subject interesting. In December 2014, the government announced the outcome of its most recent official assessment of university research nationwide. We increased our previous 8 areas of officially world-leading research to 12 areas of world-leading research. They are allied health professions, architecture and built environment, art and design, business and management studies, communication, cultural and media studies, English language and literature, geography and environmental studies, history, law, music, drama and dance, psychology and social work and social policy. On the subject of research, our Global Sustainability Institute is a founding partner of the new Centre for the Understanding of Sustainable Prosperity, which was launched thanks to a £6 million research grant. hot on the heels of which came the announcement of a further £4 million to develop an energy modelling tool working with partners across the whole EU. Dr. Peter Brown from Life Sciences has published the history of how the harlequin ladybird has spread throughout the UK. The harlequin first arrived in the UK 10 years ago and is described as the most invasive ladybird on Earth. Our Faculty of Medical Science has won a research grant worth over £3 million to help mild dementia sufferers. Researchers will develop an electronic platform which will help patients stick to their treatment and share data with their carers and doctors. For the 6th consecutive year, the prestigious Macmillan Prize for Illustration was won by a student on one of our illustration courses. This year, Shu Ti Liao was the deserved winner. A fine art student, Ramona Zolodek, won the biggest student art prize in the UK, a £20,000 bursary, after claiming the Woon Art Prize. And our New York Times best-selling author and lecturer, Dr. Una McCormack, has written a new Doctor Who novel called Royal Blood, which has just been published by BBC Books. Professor Richard Aspinall, the director of our Health and Wellbeing Academy, has been awarded the Lord Cohen Medal for his contribution to research in ageing. The world's first online local shopping community solely for independent retailers has been launched in Cambridge thanks to help from marketing students and their lecturers in the Lord Ashcroft International Business School. Called Hurry Here Now, the app connects local independent retailers with local shoppers, helping them to compete with large chains and online retailers. Dr. Nick Drydarkis's work on the effect of the current EU financial crisis on health and mental health has been published this year by Harvard University. His research has been much in our newspapers, especially that which showed that age discrimination against older people was rife amongst UK employers, and that gay and lesbian job seekers in the UK are less likely to be offered an interview. Our Faculty of Health, Social Care and Education is leading a study of a new app called Pro Ask, which will allow parents to see if their baby has a higher risk of becoming overweight as they get older. And a former student played a key role in England's Ashes triumph this summer. Spin bowler Josh Poisden, who plays for Warwickshire, was substitute fielder against Australia in the 3rd Test at Edgbaston. Josh, a former sports coaching and physical education student, caught Mitchell Starc to end the Australian innings, and England sealed victory later that day. What a shame there isn't a former Anglia Ruskin student in the rugby team. We now have over 16,000 students studying for Anglia Ruskin Awards off-site and at a variety of locations around the world. It's 25 years since we began delivering degrees in other countries, starting with College PTPL in Penang, Malaysia. Now we have students in Botswana, China, Germany, Hungary, India, Malaysia, Malta, Singapore, Sri Lanka and Trinidad. Over the last 10 years, we've spent more than £150 million on new buildings. And the most recent of these, for the Faculty of Health, Social Care and Education, opened last month in Cambridge. During the summer, work started on our £45 million new building for the Faculty of Science, also in Cambridge, while major lab refurbishments took place here in Chelmsford, ready for our new degrees in paramedic science and for pharmaceutical and physician associates. Now, before I close, I should like to take this opportunity to thank the members of the Board of Governors for their unstinting support and advice. But most importantly of all, I want to take this opportunity to offer my deepest thanks to the staff of Anglia Ruskin University, each of whom directly or indirectly has made an enormous contribution to your success. Everyone here today owes all our staff a huge debt of gratitude, and I think we should show our appreciation in the usual way. Finally, to all of you receiving degrees, diplomas and certificates today, if you enjoy the occasion, there is a way of repeating this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Study for a higher level degree. No matter what, you have a lifetime of learning ahead of you. You join a long line of distinguished alumni, which includes Chan Abraham, CEO of the Luminous Social Housing Group, Oliver Baines of Blake, who, having won Best New Album in the Classical Brits Awards, have now gone on to sell more than 500,000 albums. Lynn Berry, former CEO of the WRVS and now the chair of Breast Cancer Now. BBC presenter and our lecturer, Ben Garrod. Charles Clarke, former chair of the Association of Chief Police Officers. TV presenter Nick Crane of Coast, Mapman and Great British Journeys. Their honours Judge Margaret Fawcett and Judge Howard Kemp. Alexandra Pringle, Editor-in-Chief at the Bloomsbury Press, and Mark Wood, Chair of the NSPCC. We're very proud of you. Best wishes for your future careers wherever they take you. Do please keep in touch with us. Anglia Ruskin University would not be the vibrant, exciting and ambitious academic community it is today without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. We now come to the presentation of those receiving awards today to the Vice-Chancellor. And I call upon Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Dean, Professor Eamon Strain, to read the names of those who will be presented from the Faculty of Science and Technology. Professor Strain.
Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present to you students from the Faculty of Science and Technology for the award of Higher National Certificate Engineering, Tony James Barrett. Mark Nash. Samuel Tavis Thurgood. For the award of Foundation Degree in the Sciences Engineering, Dominic Adams. Dipendra Basnet. Zoe October Ebden. Adam Feaning. Michael Hand. James Andrew Pedder. Paige Tennyson. Adam Tyler. Michael Nicholas Ubi. For the award of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours, Mechanical Engineering, Abed Ahmed. Mirza Mustafa Ali. Stefano Anaruma. Sundeep Bugnath. Vishnudis Chepiapalli Hari, who also receives the Chelmsford Science and Engineering Society Award. Mufaro Jova. Usha Fawad. Jonathan Edward Firth. Wei Yao He. Luke Hollis, who also receives the Ramage Shield. Peter Amedu Igo. Freddie Philip Johnny. Joseph Oladimeji Lana. Christopher James Long. Andrew Moore. Munir Kasim Ahmad Naji. Samayadeep Sarkar. Matthew John Smith. Brent Simon Tatum. Daniel Christopher Walker. Ashley Young. Faisal Musa Zubairu. For the award of Master of Science, Engineering Management, Stephen Eguben Agiboye. Veronica Chianura. Prince Will Okechukwu Chimezi. Osagi Emmanuel Ezekieli. Okeje Ibrahim. Gloria Ambrose Eisen. Tamunu Emi Iyala. Jamal Ahmed Khan. Christian Maduka. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours, Architectural Technology, Rajan Ali. Danny Brown. Ryan William Collison. Leon Matthew Kraskell, who also receives the SIAT Award and the SIAT Top Student Award. Adam Scott Dines. Gotche Gula. Moise Khan. Ross Marsh. Brett Carl Massey. Joe Misselbrook. Jonathan Pearson. Emerick Severin. Ryan James Spear. Craig Simon Woods. James Aaron Wright. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Architecture, Zayed Akhtar, Zain Al-Abidin Jafar Tahar Al-Hadithi, Kanzu Kemra Eden, Jizlin Ben Baha, Ryan Dean, Kailesh Doiling, Mekagwebu Olowatuzin Iyela, Eomide Munirat Karim, who also receives the Reba East Student Prize. Negar Ko Shui, Rebecca Lockwood, William Theodore Nith-Oyowa, Svetlana Svirieva, Josephine Erica Sinden, Ryan Kevin Stouffer, Nicole Swamber, Daniel Tubi, Leah Woodhead, Molly Young, Vice-Chancellor, that partially completes the list of graduates for me to present to you today.
Each year, Anglia Ruskin University makes a number of honorary awards to individuals outstanding in their field of endeavour, who we hope will serve as an inspiration to those of you crossing the platform today. Their stunning achievements should motivate us all by reminding us that we should see our own success to date, but as a starting point. They pose the question, shouldn't we too aspire to success like theirs? I now call upon Denise Thorpe, Director of Human Resources, to read the citation for the award of Doctor of Technology honoris causa to Professor William Webb.
Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to read the citation for Professor William Webb for the award of Doctor of Technology honoris causa. Professor William Webb is an academic, technology pioneer, CEO of Weightless Special Interest Group, and President of the Institution of Engineering and Technology. As the son of an eminent electronics engineer, it was no surprise that the teenage William Webb showed a certain aptitude for this discipline. And after graduating with a first-class honours degree in electronics, William began working on his PhD at Southampton University. His supervisor, Professor Raymond Steele, had set up a company that enabled research students to fulfil their academic duties whilst earning a living working on client projects. So it was here that William first learned to combine groundbreaking theoretical work with practical application, commercial delivery and strategic planning, a set of talents that has served him very well throughout his stellar career. In 1998, William was appointed Director of Corporate Strategy with Motorola. In 2001, he became Managing Consultant of PA Consulting Group. Then in 2003, he took over as Director of Technology Resources at Ofcom, where he remained for more than 7 years. In 2011, he co-founded the company Newell in Cambridge, serving as Chief Strategy Officer and Chief Technology Officer, with responsibility for the overall technical design of an innovative new wireless technology for machine-to-machine networks. In 2012, Professor Webb became CEO of Weightless Special Interest Group, or SIG. Weightless technology is the term used to describe wireless connectivity for the low-power, wide-area networks necessary to deliver the Internet of Things, a vision of the future where all kinds of objects are interconnected, actively engaging data. Weightless SIG is a democratic, non-profit organisation concerned with harmonising the various competing technologies in order to create a global standard, ultimately paving the way for the creation of the Internet of Things. In his time at Weightless SIG, William has grown participation from 4 founder members to over 1,000. He has played the role of chief architect during the writing of the Weightless specification and written the definitive book on weightless technology. William is an internationally renowned engineer, hugely respected in the field of wireless communications technology. To date, he has published 13 books, more than 100 papers, and is the author or joint author of 18 patents. He is a visiting professor at Surrey and Southampton universities, an adjunct professor at Trinity College Dublin, and a board member of Cambridge Wireless. William is a Fellow of the Royal Academy of Engineering, Fellow of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, and Fellow of the Institution of Engineering and Technology, where he is currently serving a 12-month term as President. William's ability to successfully combine an active academic career with remarkable business achievements will make him an outstanding role model for our students, and we are delighted to welcome him into our Anglia Ruskin community. Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Professor William Webb for the award of Doctor of Technology, honoris causa.
By the authority vested in me as Vice-Chancellor, I hereby confer on you, William Timothy Webb, the degree of Doctor of Technology, honoris causa. Our warmest congratulations.
Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests and students, it truly is a great honour to be standing here today, accepting this degree, for which I didn't pay any tuition fees, and talking to you all. There's something fundamental within a human psyche that finds peer recognition deeply gratifying, and I'm deeply gratified. So how did it happen? It wasn't something that I expected, it wasn't something that I strove towards. But I remember a colleague some years ago who received a knighthood telling me something similar, that he had not expected to achieve it, but he felt that it had been awarded because he'd done good things. So what does that mean? What are good things? What good things might I have done that have resulted in me standing here today? Well, I can think of a few things that might fall into that category. Perhaps intellectual achievements. As was mentioned, I did a PhD in modulation theory for mobile radio, and one of the techniques that I pioneered there is actually very much a part of receiving high data rate mobile communications that's embedded within all the devices that you use today for your wireless communication systems. Or perhaps it's political achievements. When I was at Ofcom, I was responsible for introducing new ways to manage the radio spectrum. And whilst that's founded on a basis of logic and decision-making, it requires a lot of softer skills to persuade the wide range of stakeholders that use the radio spectrum that this new approach would be one that would benefit them. So more of a politician's skills than an engineer's skills. Or perhaps it's charitable activities. I've served on the board of trustees of the Institution of Engineering and Technology, or IET, for 8 years, as was mentioned in the last year being its president. trying to help the IET engineer a better world. And that, I suspect, is perhaps the most obvious reason for me standing here, but clearly a position that you don't get to without the other pillars. I've also done some rather crazy cycling challenges, but I don't think they count in this environment. So could I distill that into any general advice to pass on to you as you look forward to your career? Well, I find it always dangerous to generalize. Everybody is different, every career is different, every time is different. But then it's very tempting to generalize, so I'm going to give it a go anyway. The first thing I would say is pursue what interests you and not be a slave to a career that is designed simply to maximize remuneration. All the studies have shown that actually beyond a relatively modest income, adding extra money to that doesn't materially change people's happiness. But having a career that they enjoy most definitely does. And I think as well, if you enjoy what you're doing, you're much more inclined to do good things, to do the right thing, because it comes naturally. I would say to listen to your heart as much as to your head. For example, charitable work is not particularly logical. It doesn't pay the bills, but it's hugely rewarding. And that reward in itself leads to other important things. And I would say network. And by networking, I don't mean Facebook and LinkedIn, fine though those are. I mean actually going out and meeting people. Meeting people at conferences, at events, at workshops, places where you actually get to meet new people and have all sorts of conversations. Because it's there that some sort of magic happens. Chance meetings, serendipity, those moments that change careers significantly by meeting somebody that you would never have come across had you simply stayed in the office and used the social media tools available to you. I think it's worth having career plans, but I can't think of any career plan that I've had that's lasted more than about 3 years, when it tends to get torn up and thrown away because circumstances change, or I change, or I realise I want to do something different. So, yes, for sure, have some kind of forward plan, but keep revising it. Keep asking yourself, is it right for me? Is it the right thing? Or should I change that? But always do the right thing by your colleagues, the right thing by your companies. A career is a 40-year project. If you do things that result in short-term gains at the extent of your reputation, they'll come back to haunt you sooner or later. The world is a small place. You'll discover the same people over and over again in many different situations. Always do the right thing. And that makes you feel good too. A bit of self-publicity is no bad thing from time to time. So write a few papers, speak at a few conferences. If you get the chance, talk to some journalists. But ideally, only when you've got something to say. If you haven't, then your credibility will be undermined quite quickly in that process. And I've heard it said, although I'm not quite sure how anyone knows, that nobody on their deathbed has said that they wish they spent more time in the office. Don't defer all the good times to your retirement. And that's it. And that might seem vague and insufficient. Can that really be enough to get you standing up here 25 years from now? Well, it takes more than that, of course. It takes energy, it takes application. As we've heard, it takes constant learning. Doesn't stop after today. And as I think most people who've had successful careers would acknowledge, it takes a good dose of luck as well. But you can maximize your chances through things like networking. But perhaps, ultimately, what I've learned during my time, both as an academic and in industry, is that as humans, we have deeply ingrained needs and desires. Listen to those. Reflect on them. Understand what sort of person you are, what sort of person you want to be. And then go and do some good things. Thank you.
Professor Webb, thank you. We now continue the presentation of those receiving awards today to the Vice-Chancellor, and I call again upon Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Dean, Professor Eamon Strain, to return to read the names of remaining students from the Faculty of Science and Technology.
Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to continue to present to you students from the Faculty of Science and Technology. Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Business Management, Yolanda Dombo. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours, Building Surveying, Billy Mark Baldry. Dean Barber. Fraser Bird. Thomas Paul Brand, who also receives the Hayes Prize. Camilla Catherine Burgess, who also receives the Ingleton Wood Award for Building Surveying and the Hayes Prize. Holly Louise Burgess, who also receives the Hayes Prize. Christakis Christou. Edward Cottle. Susanna Farkas. Daniel James Fowler. Dean John Goodwin. Lee John Goodwin. Andrew Philip Grading. Charlie Holmes, who also receives the Hayes Prize. Charlotte Inger Model King. Rodney Niathing. Justin Lee O'Connor. Hamid Omidi. Andreas Pullman. Daniel Robert Shemming, who also receives the Barker and Associates Award and the Hayes Prize. Philip Leonard Smith. Kieran Steig. Henry Talbot. Christy Thompson. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Quantity Surveying, Hazel Victoria Bannister. Stephen Benford. Joe Benson. Stuart Blakey. Tony Bramley. Danielle Catherine Brooks. Alistair Edward James Butcher. Stephen Philip Rees Charles. Taylor Jane Cole. Gavin Trevor Collier. George Cook. Nicky Cook. Liam Dengate. Tom Edwards. Stephen Florence. Charlotte Ann Fortin. Michael Grover. Tatenda Emmanuel Brian Gurure. Luke Henderson. Sean Patrick Higgins. Thomas Alexander Hinksman. Sam Robert Holloway. Nicholas Robert Holmes. Rhys Imbert. Oliver Lawrence Jarvis. Luke Kendall. Billy Dean Lane. Toby Noel Laws. Stephen Kenneth George LeBow. Joseph Ryan Leckie. Curtis Maxwell Lee. James Loveland. Jordan David Lone. Stephen Marshall. Ryan Paul Oakes. Joe Pemberton. Craig Peters. Matthew Peter Rollinson. Alexander Woodford Russell. Robin John Seymour. Benjamin James Slater. James Francis John Smith Day. Thomas Speller. Martin Jonathan Stokes. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours, Real Estate Management, Sita Allen. Stanley Eric Frank Cottage. Sarah Ann Cracknell, who also receives the Elwell Taylor Cup. Ben Paul Gilligan. Rebecca Elizabeth Rose Graham. Dean Russell Herneman. Jennifer Sarah Kingswell. David Kutas. Neka Genevieve Mary Obiechina. Richard Palmer. For the award of Master of Science Project Management, Mutunreo Mayanulawa Makindi. Victor Ulani Obembe. Alabueze Chukwani Elu Ora. Izuka Silegbo. For the award of Master of Science Mobile Telecommunications, Abraham Eoulawa Bayekuzi. Adeni Francis Fajinmi. Patrick Amy Ndoli. Bathran Are Anan Sahas Ranaman. For the award of Master of Science Town Planning, Alexander Stephen James Johnson. Alexander Peter Sadowski. Laura Waters. For the award of Master of Science, Conservation of Buildings, Adam Davies. David Simon Shipley, who also receives the Anthony Bartlett Award for Building Conservation. Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present those who have been awarded higher research degrees. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy with the thesis Factors Influencing Operational Energy Performance and Refurbishment of UK-listed Church Buildings Towards a Strategic Management Framework, Oluwafemi Akande. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy with the thesis title, The Effect of Partial Meniscectomy on Knee Joint Contact Mechanics, Diagarajan Karpanen, who also receives the Ruskin Medal for Student Research. Vice-Chancellor, that completes the list of students for me to present to you today.
We're now nearing the end of the ceremony, but first I would like to ask Sarah Cracknell, one of our wonderful new graduates, to come to the podium to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of those receiving awards today. Sarah.
Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen and fellow students, it is my pleasure to offer the vote of thanks today from myself and all the students graduating at this ceremony. Firstly, I would like to thank the vast number of staff who work at the university without whom our success as graduates would not have been attainable. These include the guys who work tirelessly behind the scenes, the iCentre staff, the librarians, the digital copy staff, the facilities and catering teams, the admin team supporting the faculty, and of course, the cleaning staff. As students, we could be a mucky bunch. Obviously, a huge thanks must go to the lecturers who work with passion, dedication and commitment to get us over the line, and to the senior staff who ensure the smooth running of our university. I would also like to thank all guests here present, many of whom are here to celebrate the family members, friends and colleagues' achievements. I am sure all the graduates here today will remember their time at Anglia Ruskin with fond memories, from forming new friendships, forming new teams and all the headaches that sometimes caused. But, in addition, gaining valuable experiences, knowledge and intellectual stimulation in a multitude of topics and disciplines. And if you were like me, I try not to think about the endless sleepless nights. I do not know about my fellow graduates, but I, for one, thoroughly enjoyed my studies and surprised myself that I could actually achieve this. I never knew I had it in me to feed the grey matter to such a degree. To say thank you to everyone seems almost inadequate for the sheer effort everyone has provided. So, to summarise, you, Anglia Ruskin, have given us the building blocks, tools and knowledge to cement our future on solid foundations. So thank you. Now, as graduates, we need to use this experience and achievement as an opportunity to create a sustainable future. Thank you all.
Sarah, thank you so much. I now call for one final time on the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Michael Thorne.
And now will all those who have been presented to me here today and have crossed the stage, will you now please stand? By the authority vested in me as Vice-Chancellor, I hereby admit you to the degrees, diplomas and certificates for which you have been presented to me here today. Our warmest congratulations to you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the ceremony, and I declare the proceedings closed. Will you please now all stand for the academic procession?